Jacob Fatu watched WWE from a jail cell and now he's coming to take everything Roman Reigns. As Roman Reigns stood in that ring on Monday Night Raw and looked Jacob Fatu dead in his eyes and said, "You don't deserve it. You haven't earned it. Me giving you a title shot would be nepotism." And the moment those words left Roman's mouth, Jacob Fatu grabbed him by the face, locked in the Tongan death grip, and dropped the World Heavyweight Champion to the mat like a sack of broken promises. And while Roman Reigns laid there gasping, sweating, struggling to breathe, Jacob Fatu stood over him with the title in his hands and screamed, "I'm going to take everything from you." And here is what every single person watching this video needs to understand right now. This is not a rivalry. This is not a storyline. This is a man who watched his family get rich and famous from a jail cell, who spent 12 years broke, suffering, grinding on the independent scene while his cousins were on WrestleMania main event stages, who got to WWE and was immediately handed to Solo Sikoa as an enforcer, used as a weapon, stripped of his tag titles on command, and then written off television twice. Jacob Fatu has been disrespected at every single turn. And on April 27, 2026, in Laredo, Texas, the Samoan werewolf finally snapped. You need to hear every detail of this story, because what is building toward Backlash on May 9th is not just a championship match. It is an eruption that has been 12 years in the making. Before we talk about what happened on Raw, you need to understand who Jacob Fatu really is. Because Roman Reigns stood in that ring and dismissed him, called him confused, called him a fool, told him he hadn't earned it. And the sheer ignorance of those words coming from a man who was handed a main event spot the moment he walked through WWE's doors because of his family name is almost too insulting to process. Jacob Fatu is the son of Sam Fatu, the Tonga Kid, a man who spent his career in the shadow of bigger Anoa'i family names. Jacob grew up in that same shadow, and it was not until he was sitting in a jail cell, actually incarcerated, watching his cousins Jimmy and GUSO perform on WWE television, that he decided he was going to become a professional wrestler. Let that sink in. The moment that changed Jacob Fatu's life happened behind bars. He began training under Rikishi in 2012 and spent the next 7 years grinding on the independent circuit, West Coast promotions, small venues, building his craft from the absolute ground up, while Roman Reigns was becoming Universal Champion and the Usos were winning tag title after tag title. In 2019, Fatu signed with Major League Wrestling and became one of the most dominant champions in the promotion's history. His MLW World Heavyweight Championship reign lasted 819 days, the longest in that company's history. 819 days. And yet when WWE finally signed him in 2024, they handed him straight to Solo Sikoa to use as muscle. Not as a competitor. Not as a future champion. As an enforcer. As a weapon. As someone else's tool. Fatu was stripped of his WWE Tag Team Championship on Solo Sikoa's direct orders, forced to relinquish the title so that Tonga Loa could hold it instead, and told to focus on being a bodyguard. A man with an 819-day championship reign as the cornerstone of an entire promotion, reduced to standing behind someone else and following orders. The fans saw it. They were chanting his name. They were desperate to see him break free. And then, after turning face by betraying Sikoa at Money in the Bank, after winning the United States Championship at WrestleMania 41, after proving he belonged at the top of the card, Solo Sikoa dethroned him at Night of Champions with interference from JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, and the debuting Tala Tonga, ending his reign at just 70 days. And then he was written off television. Twice. The second time was to write him off due to injury. The man could not catch a break. So when Fatu walked down to that Raw ring on April 27 and told Roman Reigns that when the bloodline was running, he was broke, foaming at the mouth, grinding on the front lines, not knowing if he'd ever make it, that was not a scripted promo. That was a man speaking his truth into a microphone in front of the entire WWE universe. And Roman Reigns laughed at him. Roman Reigns came out to address the crowd and told everyone he gave Jacob Fatu a week to think about his decision, hoping Fatu would choose to unite the family rather than divide it. The Sportster, https://www.thesportster.com/wwe-monday-night-results-recap-April-27-2026, but Jacob Fatu was already past diplomacy. He told Roman he did not need a week, did not need a day, did not even need an hour. He said he knew exactly what he wanted and he was not stuttering and he was not hesitating. And then Fatu dropped the bombshell that Roman Reigns had no answer for. He revealed that it was not Roman or the Usos who reached out to him before his WWE debut. It was Solo Sikoa who called him and gave him his chance. Yardbarker, https://www.yardbarker.com/wrestling/article/wwe_Snaps_April_27_27_27_437806330. Roman tried to bury that truth immediately. He told Fatu that Solo could not get a cup of coffee delivered to the building. He asked who runs WWE, and when the crowd chanted OTC, Roman used it like a weapon, like validation. And then he told Jacob Fatu the 4 words that ended the conversation: "You don't deserve it." Reigns told Fatu he hadn't earned it and that allowing him to compete for the title would be nepotism and that he simply could not do that. Fox News, https://www.foxnews.com/sports/Jacob-Fatu-Heithen-Fatu-Reigns-Death-Braun-Breaker. He never even finished his sentence. Because Jacob Fatu did not come to that ring to debate. He came to collect. The Tongan death grip locked in. Roman Reigns dropped. And the Samoan werewolf stood over the most powerful man in WWE holding his championship like it already belonged to him. People are sleeping on how significant the Tongan death grip actually is as a weapon. This is not a standard submission hold. This is a move that cuts off blood flow, attacks the nervous system, and leaves the recipient genuinely incapacitated. Reigns was left completely incapacitated by it, and the visual of him struggling to even speak afterward, sweating, trembling, barely able to hold the microphone, was one of the most vulnerable images of Roman Reigns WWE has ever produced. Yardbarker, https://www.yardbarker.com/wrestling/articles/wwe_17765/1_Roman_Reigns_1_Score. Roman Reigns, the man who defeated Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and every other monster this company threw at him, looked like he was fighting just to stay conscious. And that matters enormously heading into Backlash. Because the World Heavyweight Championship match is now officially set. Roman Reigns defending against Jacob Fatu on May 9 at Benchmark International Arena in Tampa, Florida. Yahoo Sports, https://sports.yahoo.com/articles/wwe-backlash-20226-full-updated-025116930.html. And GUSO himself warned Roman before any of this happened. He said Fatu is dangerous. He said there have to be consequences. He said if Fatu wins, he takes it all. GUSO has been in this business long enough to recognize a predator when he sees one, and he was begging Roman to take this seriously. Roman did not listen. Roman talked instead, and Jacob Fatu made him pay for every single word. Here is what nobody is asking loudly enough right now. Jimmy USO told Roman flat out that he understands where Jacob Fatu is coming from. Yahoo Sports, https://sports.yahoo.com/wrestling/breaking-news/live/wwe-hyphen-raw-live/live-hyphen-now-hyphen-april-227-result-w.215002215 Jimmy USO, who was supposed to be standing beside Roman Reigns as part of the first family, looked his cousin in the eye and said, "I get it. I understand this man's hunger. I understand what he is fighting for." And Jimmy only walked it back by saying it should not come at Roman's expense. But the seed is planted. The doubt is there. Because Jimmy USO was not always Roman Reigns' loyal soldier. Jimmy USO has turned on Roman before. Jimmy USO knows what it feels like to be undervalued and discarded by the very family that was supposed to have his back. So the question going into Backlash is not just whether Jacob Fatu can survive Roman Reigns on his best day. The real question is when the moment of crisis arrives in Tampa, when Fatu has Roman on the ropes, when the Tongan death grip is locked in again in front of a live pay-per-view audience, where do Jimmy and GUSO actually stand? Do they honor the first family? Or do they finally let a man who has been grinding and bleeding and starving for 12 years take what this entire bloodline owes him? Jacob Fatu watched WWE from a jail cell and decided that one day, he would stand on the biggest stage in the world. He ground for 12 years. He held a championship for 819 days in a company most WWE fans never watched. He came to WWE and was handed to Solo Sikoa like a piece of equipment. He had his championship stripped. He was written off television twice. He was told to stand in the background and wait. And on April 27 on Monday Night Raw, Jacob Fatu walked into that ring, looked Roman Reigns in the face, and reminded the entire world that patience has a breaking point. The Samoan werewolf is done waiting. Backlash is 11 days away. And Roman Reigns better pray those Usos are loyal, because right now, the First Family's foundation has a crack in it. And Jacob Fatu is the wrecking ball. Drop your Backlash predictions right now in the comments. Does Jacob Fatu finally get the moment 12 years of suffering earned him? Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. We are Wrestling News CC and we will see you in the next one.